So we got some news for another New York football team. This is the New York Giants. The New York Giants have placed a franchise tag on Leonard Williams. Now I know what you guys are saying. Another franchise tag video? Why? Well, we're doing all the franchise tags today, and then tomorrow the trades, the extensions, the release from. We're gonna do that tomorrow. So we're doing all the franchise tags today. So Giants placed Leonard Williams on a franchise tag. He's coming off a career year with 11 and a half sacks. And the Giants were obviously, I believe, help me out here, Nate. They were a couple games shy of reaching the playoffs with the NFC East, correct?
Nah, they were one because
One.
because it was like the final game of the season where the Cowboys, them, and the football team were all fighting for the title.
Right. And this article, well, first it was reported by NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, and this article was written by Kevin Patra, around the NFL writer. So you know what, Nate? Let me start off first, all right? Let me start off with Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams had a very, very good year. He had a very, very good year last year. Obviously, 11 and a half sacks. He was obviously, I think, traded. He was traded, I think, last year to the New York Jets, to the New York Giants, excuse me, from the Jets. So, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Nate. I think Leonard Williams right now could possibly be their best defender. Um, Last year he had 57 tackles, 11 and a half sacks, and obviously no interceptions because they're defensive linemen. They really don't get a lot of interceptions. But he had a I'm going to be honest with you, Nate. He had a very big career year with the New York Giants. Those 11 and a half sacks, those aren't anything to shy from. And I thought Leonard Williams was a very good player coming out of college. I thought he was a very good player on the New York Jets. But I mean, he's raising his standards. He's exceeding his game. Like a lot of these guys who have been placed on franchise tags are doing right now. They're exceeding their game. They're improving as years go on. And again, I believe Leonard Williams is another guy that the Giants should at least lock down for 2 years. I'm not a big fan of franchise tags, Nate. And I'll explain in the next two videos to come too. I'm just not a big fan of franchise tags because I just feel like it's a waste of time. I feel like franchise tags are like a waste of the only time one franchise tag is fine. One franchise tag is fine. Leonard Williams has been, I think, on a franchise tag the past 2 years, and he is the third player to be on a franchise tag for 2 consecutive seasons. He's joining Justin Simmons, and he's joining Washington football team's guard Brandon Sharif. So, I mean, and we talked about Brandon Sharif in other videos too, as well as a good offensive lineman. But this is all on Leonard Williams. This topic is on Leonard Williams. When you put a guy on a franchise tag for more than 1 year, I think that's a problem. To be honest with you, those 2 years that you put him on a franchise tag, right, are equivalent to probably about a 2 year, $20 million extension that you could give them. But like, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Like, we've seen how long Dak Prescott was on a franchise tag before Kirk joined the Minnesota Vikings. We've seen how long he was on a franchise tag with Washington. Justin Simmons, again, another guy. Brandon Sharif, another guy. These guys are being placed on franchise tags, Nate, for so long, and it's just sucking money out of the team. And honestly, if you were to suck money out the team, but the player was happy and this is a guy you really want to keep, I got no problem with that. Obviously you got to watch your money, but sometimes there comes a time where you're like, the athlete is more important than money, correct?
Correct.
But franchise tags don't help nobody, Nate. All it does is suck money out the team and then kind of upset players. Franchise tags, I believe when a player receives a franchise tag for more than 1 year, I believe they start questioning themselves as how badly does the team really want them if you're just going to keep putting me on a franchise tag. Like, if I'm a player, Nate, and I'm putting on a franchise tag for 1 year, fine. You want to see more out of me out of 1 year? Fine. You put me on a franchise tag again, is a problem because I've shown you what I'm capable of. You still don't believe me, which is why you're giving me another year on a franchise tag. It's unnecessary. It's absolutely unnecessary. So, I mean, you're going to do a 1 year? Fine. If you're going to do a more than 1 year, that's unacceptable. As NFL scouts, as NFL coaches, as NFL coordinators, you should know if this guy's going to be a fit for your team for a long time to come. Now, going back to Leonard Williams, I do think he is going to be a good fit for the New York Giants for time to come. I think he's worth, again, like we talked about with Marcus May, I think he's worth a good 2 years, $20 million. I believe he's worth that type of extension. But obviously, like we read, he's the third player. He's the third player to be on the franchise tag for 2 consecutive seasons. That's just unnecessary to me. So with that being said, I'm gonna pass on to you, mate. I just want to say best of luck to Leonard Williams and best of luck to the New York Giants.
Right, I'll take it from there. Best of luck to Leonard Williams and the New York Giants. Obviously, the biggest thing that plays a role here is cap space. The New York Giants have uh just a little under $850,000 in cap space. Yeah, that's just sad. But see, here's the thing with the Giants, okay, Martin? I absolutely agree with you with everything you said. Here's my problem with the New York Giants, okay? They're the exact opposite of what I want the New York Jets to be. Now, obviously, in the last video, I mentioned that the New York Jets have all the salary cap and cap space and whatever. They can get whatever, but they just don't. They don't manage it. New York Giants are the exact opposite. They make very, very poor marketing decisions, and the players that they've signed and the extensions that they've given in the last decade, it shows, and it shows a lot. The New York Giants, let's be honest, they're the reason why they're in this cap space and there's that low in cap space is because of the poor marketing decisions that they made. Now, obviously, of course, some of them aren't their fault. Odell left town to Cleveland. Saquon Barkley got injured. No, that's their fault. That's they obviously gave somewhat of. I think they gave an extension to Eli Manning when he was still playing. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they did something like that. I can't remember, but. But obviously, of course, Eli Manning was showing signs of age and whatever, and he retired a couple years ago. So the New York Giants, I don't know, man. They're a team that they're the exact opposite of what I want their next door neighbors they're the exact opposite of what I want the next door neighbors in the Jets to be. So yeah, I absolutely agree. They franchise tagged him 1 year, which at that point, give him an extension, not a lengthy one. Like you said, 1 to 2 years, maybe $20 million.
Right.
But the problem with the Giants is that they make very, very poor marketing decisions, and when the time comes, they have nothing to offer these players.
Right. You want to hear the scary part about what you just said?
What?
I think you said $850 in cap space. I think you meant like
850 million. I mean,
800.
850,000. Excuse me, my bad.
Damn, man. $850, 850 million. We know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, guys. 850,000.
My point. You want to hear something even scarier? Imagine what that cap space would have been if they didn't trade off Odell.
Yeah.
Odell had a big extension with them. I think it was like a $90 million extension.
It was like like 4 or 5 years?
And then he didn't last the 5 years, so they traded him to Cleveland. Now Cleveland's got to pay that contract. But imagine if they kept Odell. Imagine what that cap space would have gone to.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But I'll let you finish.
Yeah, right. And yeah, I mean, just saying, I can't remember if they gave an extension to Saquon Barkley. If so, that's not their fault because Saquon did get injured.
I think they did.
Yeah, they did. Did they give an extension to Eli though? Yeah. I can't remember if they did that.
I think Saquon Barkley, I believe, got an extension.
Yeah,
and that's when he ended up. I think he tore his ACL, right?
Yeah, he tore his ACL last season. They gave an extension to Eli before he retired too, right? I'm pretty sure they did.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I can't remember, but I know the Giants are not really known for making very smart marketing decisions, and I feel like that's why they're so low in cap space. They're not in the red, which I mean is good, but you're pretty close to it. So I really, I really do recommend whoever runs the New York Giants, just look at your players, see who you can keep, and who you need to let go, and obviously don't give them big bucks because at that point then you're gonna go like $100 million, negative $100 million in cap space. That's not what you want. Just like the New Orleans Saints right now, or near $100 million, negative $100 million cap space. So,
right.
I mean, don't do that, but.
Right, and to answer your question, Eli Manning signed a 4-year, $84 million extension in 2015.
Yeah,
so he did finish out that year, and then obviously
that's true,
Eli Manning retired. But again, a lot of that money ended up going to Eli Manning.
Yeah, and Eli Manning wasn't really producing in those years either. He was kind of at the tail end of his career at that point.
2015, you also got to remember, 2015, they had that playoff run.
Yeah, right. But then after that it was just like,
and after that, right, I completely agree. After that, it just went downhill from there.
So I mean, it was worth it for that year, but then after that, it was whatever. So
right. Worth money that first year. Next 3, forget about it.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, man, I absolutely agree with what you said. I think the New York Giants need to be a little bit smarter when it comes to marketing decisions because the last few ones that they've made in the decade are just Man, what the hell? With that being said, this isn't about anybody else I mentioned. This is about Leonard Williams. So I do wish him the best of luck, and I do wish the New York Giants the best of luck moving forward.